Ready to begin? I think my friend Suzanne will come, but she can sign in when she gets there. So let's get started. How to become a U.S. president. 3, 2, 1. Quiz. What official document states the 3 requirements to become a U.S. president? Is it the Federalist Papers, Washington Post, the Bill of Rights, or the U.S. Constitution? Well done. It's the U.S. Constitution, which we learned about together, didn't we? Okay, let's see who was faster and more accurate. Lanfranco, Bruno's warming up. Come on.
But we are only 3 today. My God.
Yeah, for the moment. The 3 requirements to become U.S. president concern red, age, residency, and citizenship, or marital status, citizenship, and gender. Religion. Oh, everybody got it right?
Yes.
It's your age, your residency, and your citizenship. You studied. Good job. To become a U.S. president, you must be at least how old? 35, 62, 80, 77. You got it, 35. Although the other ages are significant. 62 years old is the age of Obama right now. 80 is the age of Biden. And 77 is the age of Trump. Well done. Oh, very good. Quiz. A presidential candidate must be a resident in the United States for at least years. 10 years, 14 years, 20 years, or 24 years. 14. Who got that one right? Lanfranco, did you know that?
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay. That one I have to say I didn't know. I didn't know that one. True or false? To be a president, you must be a naturalized citizen. True or false? Which means you must know what naturalized means. Okay? It is false. Yeah. Good job, Lanfranco. So the next one is, the wording is confusing. To be president, you must be a natural born citizen. So that means you have to be born in the United States. A naturalized citizen is a person who becomes a U.S. citizen. So, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger can be a governor, but he cannot be the president, because to be a president, you have to be born in the United States.
The same with Kissinger.
Yeah? What about Kissinger?
Yeah, there were rumors that he wanted to be a U.S. president in the past, but he was born in Germany.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Well, there was also a conspiracy theory against Obama. People that didn't like Obama tried to say that he was not born in the United States, but he was definitely born in the United States.
The birther.
Yeah. Now, there are only 3 official requirements to become the president, but the competition is tough. It's a very competitive race. So perhaps other factors can increase your chances. Can you imagine what those factors are? What do you think would make it easier for you to become a president? Wealth, okay. Money, probably. What else?
Yes.
Famous as an actor.
Having a name that people recognize, definitely. What else? Aha. Let's see now. Okay. So that's basically, so now we're going to talk about
relatives who are who
have been president. That's true. That's happened in the past, hasn't it? It's true. So we talked about there are only 3 official things in the Constitution, but of course, many presidents have certain things in common. So let's look at what those things are. Okay, so quiz. How many US presidents have been Catholic? 35, 10, 14, or 2?
Oh my God. Here. Oh.
2.
Oh,
Yes, only 2 out of all those presidents. How many? I think we're on president 46 now. And only 2 have been Catholic. Franco is like unstoppable, Bruno. What are we going to do with him?
no match.
Yeah, geez.
But sorry, the two presidents are Kennedy and Biden.
Wait. Most presidents are Protestant Christians. True or false? We're going to come back to that, Lanfranco.
Protestants. Most presidents are Protestant. True.
True. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now, the question you're asking, we're going to answer in a moment here. Good job. Quiz. Multi-select. Which denominations are the most common for U.S. presidents? Lutherans, Episcopalians, Presbyterians, or Methodists?
Presbyterian.
Non lo so, butto.
You just guess. It's Episcopalians and Presbyterians. I don't know why. It just happens to be there. Of course, other ones as well, but those are the 2 predominant ones.
Please.
All right, multi-select. Choose the Catholic presidents. This is your question.
Yeah.
Is it Washington, Kennedy, Biden, Trump? It's Kennedy and Biden. Did anyone get that one? You said, both of you said Biden and someone said Kennedy. Yes, Kennedy. In fact, there was controversy when Kennedy was running for president because Americans were very suspicious that the Pope would have too strong of, he would have an influence in the American government. And that made people very worried. With Biden, it wasn't a big issue. I think people got over that already. They talked about it, but it wasn't a scandal the way it was with Kennedy. Quiz. What role is most common prior to becoming president? Lawyer, teacher, governor, or military or militia? This was new to me. I expected lawyer, actually. That was my guess. But actually, it's military. Now, we put military/militia because before the formal military, there were militias. So that goes back to the earlier part of our history. But now in recent years, the presidents have not really been in the military, but there were enough of them for that to count. But I'll show you the order in just a moment. Okay, Lanfranco stopped for a second. I don't know if you can see this, but the first one is military, Navy, state militia, or National Guard. The second one is lawyer. The third one is congressman. The fourth one is governor. The next one is, if I can see it, it's a U.S. senator. Vice president. 15 of them have been vice presidents. That makes sense. Cabinet secretary. But there are some teachers. 8 teachers. So I felt pretty good about that. And the rest, general in the army.
But the issue is not military, but that attended the military, but they weren't professional military.
Some yes, some no, I think.
Yes, the professional military were few. Many attended the military. A lot attended the military.
Exactly. But there are enough of them that it became significant. But after that, it's lawyer. So just an interesting fact,
I'm so sorry, Caroline. You have very few chance to become president as you are teacher.
I know, I know. What 2020 was the most expensive election in history. True or false? True, as you can imagine. I think it was something like 450 times more expensive. Not than the last one, but they keep getting more and more expensive.
Yeah. Next time even more. Next time even more.
Yeah, always more expensive. You both got that one. Good. So Biden's campaign raised over $1 billion. It was the most campaign funds ever raised. But look at the difference between this bottom line is 2008. Then we have 2012, 2016, and then look at what happens in 2020. Incredible. Look at that jump there. Okay. So the yellow part is spending for Congress, and then this is the presidential one. But look at how much bigger that chunk is.
The
really
double.
Huge. Yeah.
More than the double.
Yeah, crazy. Trump raised, however, $774 million. But the interesting thing about Trump's money is that more than half of Trump's donations were $200 or less. That means people sending their money to support Trump. So he had a very, very, these are not large donors. He was very full of small donors, individual people who were interested in backing Trump. So that's pretty interesting, right? Less than $200, but to come up with that much money, that's a lot. True or false? Extra cash can be spent in swing states. True or false? Yeah, it's true. Those swing states, do you remember what a swing state is?
Not the state that are no sure they are in I cannot.
Yeah, it's true. They're the states that are not, that can change, right? So for example, Ohio is conservative, but can vote Democrat. Wisconsin is a swing state. I think Pennsylvania is a swing state. So these are states that have a significant number of electoral votes, but can go either way. So if you have extra money, that's where you want to go. You want to convince those people to vote for you. So that's where the extra money is important when we talk about fundraising.
Battleground state.
What?
Other name is battleground states.
True. Yeah, we can imagine that the image of that, of like a battlefield where you're trying to win those votes by, it's like a war on the ground. It's true. And in fact, towards when they have the elections, that's when you hear they're always in the same states. They're always in those swing states. Oh, interesting.
Quiz.
Multi-select. The following presidents were born poor: Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, Abraham Lincoln. The only one, you guys did a pretty good job. So Barack Obama, he was born, it's not really fair to say he was poor because he wasn't dirt poor. I mean, but he and Bill Clinton are really considered the sort of modern working class presidents. Abraham Lincoln also, he was pretty, he was not a wealthy family. Donald Trump is the only one who was definitely wealthy when he was born. He was born with $7 million in his bank account.
But Obama was more middle class, I think.
Well, he's considered, basically he had a single parent family. He wasn't rich. We wouldn't consider him poor. That's why I put it in quotation marks, because he wasn't poor. But he definitely was not wealthy. By the time he became president, he did have money. And so did Bill Clinton. Abraham Lincoln, no. Abraham Lincoln moved up to middle class, whereas we can say Barack and Bill made a jump. But even Bill Clinton, when he was governor, was not making that much money. Oops, Suzanne's coming in. I'm going to let her in quick. Let's see. Suzanne, are you in? Oh, she's connecting too. Hi, Suzanne. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You want to join our game?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll get my
Okay,
phone.
we're almost at the end, but go to the kahoot.it and just put in your game pin. Then Bruna will be happy.
Yes, absolutely.
Bruna was hoping to win because she thought she would be the only person, but then Lanfranco came, who studied, who knows all this stuff. He should be teaching this. But now you're coming. So you're coming in with giving her an advantage from being there from the beginning.
There is like a QR code, or should I just go
Well,
to?
try to just go to kahoot.it and put in the game pin because I don't know how to show it to you. I can't.
Okay.
Since we're in the game, I don't think I have the QR code for you.
Okay.
Wait, I can check though. Oops. Change my screen. Oops. I'm losing everything. Where did you guys go? Let's see. Got this thing on the top. Okay. No. Okay. Did you get in?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Susanna.
Okay, when you're in, just tell me. The important thing is don't go to kahoot.com. Go to it. IT.
Is Domenico here?
Huh?
Is Domenico here?
No, Domenico's not here.
Okay.
It's Bruna and Lanfranco today.
Okay.
I don't know where Domenico is. Or Johnny's not here either. I wonder where he is.
Okay.
Are you in?
Okay. They just said, get ready, you'll be able to join soon.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to make these pictures small again. All right, we ready to continue then? Oh, Bruno's got a streak. Good job. Oh, Suzanne's in. Good. So here we go. Quiz. How many presidents did not earn a university degree? 9, 8, 15, or 14?
Oh,
9. So there were 9 presidents who did not get a university degree. Let's see if we can see which ones they are in a second. Franco got the right number. Oh, I don't know where it is. Oh, okay. These presidents did not earn a university degree. Which ones? Harry Truman, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Andrew Jackson. Yes, all 4 of them did not. In fact, 2 of the faces of Mount Rushmore did not have a degree. So George Washington and Abraham Lincoln did not have degrees. I was surprised by Harry Truman.
Me too.
Because he was more recent. Andrew Jackson, of course, is the kind of the crazy one that Trump, it was very similar to Trump. He also did not have a degree. There are 4 others as well, but they're ones that are lesser known. I think Lanfranco would know, but they're not as famous as these ones. Lanfranco's on fire. What personality traits make great presidents? Straightforwardness, order, vulnerability, disorganized. There's only one in this group. It's disorganized.
Really?
There was a study by the American Psychology Association. I'll show it to you in a second. That ranked the personality traits of the different presidents, and it found that these 3 if someone's straightforward, just means that they're frank. They say what they mean. We're not order, vulnerability. We're not necessarily indicative of what we consider a great president. So when you look at throughout history, who we think of as a great president, they do not have these particular traits, but they often have a very messy desk. So that's good for me. That brings my possibility back up again. So great presidents are stubborn. You know what stubborn means? You've got a hard head. Disagreeable. Extroverted. Open. Curious, and achievement striving. So those were the ones that many had. Of course, there are also some introverted presidents, especially earlier in the history. It looks like extroversion becomes more and more important with time. But in the early days of the presidencies, it wasn't necessarily a factor to being a president. Now I think there's a lot of, you have to do a lot of public relations and things. So it's probably more of a factor now.
With the development of mass media, no?
Exactly, especially that stuff, right? But curious, we can understand. Now, the open one, I could have put more information there. They're open to lots of different situations. They're open to new ideas, open to creative problem solving. So there are different types of open. In fact, that'll go in your link list. You could take a look at, and they actually group the presidents into like 7 different character types. And they have to do with their personality traits. It's quite interesting. They had one called like the performers, and that was, Bill Clinton was a performer, like almost like an actor. Some of them were a little bit more, introverted. Some were, so there are these different personality types, but these were the main personality traits that came out in what history is considered great presidents. How many US presidents never married? 0, 1, 10, or 11? Good job. Yeah, it was. Oh, actually, how many? Oh, just one. Nobody got it. No, yellow. 2 of you got it. Okay. So yeah, only one US president never got married. Lanfranco, who was the president? Do you know?
I remember that he has a strange surname. But I don't remember the surname.
Well, it's actually James Buchanan.
Buchanan.
Yeah,
No.
He was a lifelong bachelor. He never got married, and he's the only one.
No, I thought another surname. No.
Yeah. So just why I thought that was interesting. So being married will help you become president, I guess. Okay. Lanfranco is smoking, you guys. How many US presidents have been women? 0, 1, 10, 11. Oh, everyone got that one right. That was easy, right?
Easy.
So this one's your opinion. Do you have what it takes to become a US president? Yes or no?
No.
Nobody has what it takes, right? We're going to go on with this, but let's see. We finished our quiz for now. Who's in 3rd place? Oh, Suzanne, good job. 2nd place, Bruna, yay! And dun da da da, our super winner, Lanfranco.
Wow.
Who also gets to finally win because he's not on his phone. Remember, he always has that problem with his phone. This time he's on his computer. Everything worked perfectly. Good job. So let me ask you then. I'm going to stop sharing for a second here. So tell me, do you have what it takes to be president? You said no.
We are not
Why?
US citizens. Or
Okay,
we
you're
were
not
we were not
natural-born
born in
citizens.
America. This is one.
Okay. What else makes you not a candidate? What else took you out of it?
Too stressful.
Too stressful, okay?
Yeah.
Or what about the personality traits? Do you have the personality traits to be a president? Are you disorganized?
Not that much.
Okay.
Maybe I have some part of disorganization, but not that much. Maybe I think people, sometimes it's hard for me not to show what I think.
Ah,
So
okay. So
a
you have
little
to be a
bit.
little bit, have a poker
Mm.
face, do you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes I can, sometimes I cannot, but becoming a US president, you should be always,
Yeah,
ready to
exactly. You have
not
to be
show
able to.
your, yeah, so
Got
that's,
it. Okay.
yeah.
What about Bruna? Do you have what it takes to be a US president?
No, no, absolutely. You have to choose the best people to have well, yes, people you have to trust too, and it's very very difficult, and it's a big responsibility. I cannot imagine, and I wonder how a person can bear such a big responsibility. Yes, I admire people who can live in a such way.
Yeah. In fact, there were more, there were several presidents. Two of them come to mind. I think Washington for sure and Polk, who were very indifferent about becoming president. They weren't sure that they had what it took. But the reason that they did do it was because they felt a strong sense of duty. They
Yeah.
said, this is my sense. If I'm being called to do this, I'm going to do it. So there's some question about whether or not that same sense of duty comes into play today. I'm not sure. But I think that sense of responsibility, the burden, the weight on your shoulders, yeah, it's a pretty big thing. I don't think I would have what it takes either. But it's interesting to think about. I also like to think about when there's a new president, one of the things that I like is when you see something about their personal life. For example, when Obama became president, he completely changed the timetable of the White House. Normally, presidents wake up early, they go to work before everyone else. By the time normal people go to work, they've already had, 2 hours of working at least. And Obama said, forget that. I'm having breakfast with my family. I'll be there at 9, maybe 10.
Yeah.
So I love that kind of stuff too, where you've got like the personal bit, or Biden's grumpy dogs that bite
Yeah.
everybody. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. So it's the reminder that these presidents, even though they have this huge responsibility, are also normal in quotation marks people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to show you something. If I can just share my screen again, but I'm going to show you this great page I found on this. I don't know if you ever looked at that web page called WikiHow, where it'll show you how to do things, the
Yeah.
steps. So I looked up how to become an American president, and I just want to show you. It goes through it step by step, and I just thought it was kind of an interesting way of looking at it, because it goes through like the more formal things that you have to do. So I'm going to just move this. Okay, so it's over here. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of course, the link will be in your links, but of course, there's a explanation. It's got the eligibility requirements. Of course, you have to be 35 years old. We said that. You have to be a natural born citizen, not a naturalized citizen, but natural born. Okay. So you have to have that passport and also and the birth certificate from America, right? Then you have to live in the United States for at least 14 consecutive years. That I didn't know. Okay. You can show that with your passport, your birth certificate. Okay. Why? Because they want to avoid foreign influence and to ensure that you're up to date with politics in America. So this is why you can imagine when Kennedy was going to become a candidate, people were worried about his being Catholic because they thought foreign influence. Trump, this came up all the time because Trump was running the hotel across from the White House and having foreign dignitaries there and who are paying him. That's kind of a no-no, right? To have money come in from foreign governments. So that residency rule is supposed to help with that. You have to prove that you're a natural born American citizen. Okay, that's your birth certificate.
Sorry,
yeah.
You know, there was the question about Obama.
Yeah, it was a conspiracy theory.
He wasn't born in America. The issue was that he was born in Hawaii, no?
Hawaii, right?
Hawaii. And the issue was that in the easy years, the red tape in Hawaii was a mess.
Okay.
No? It was easy to say I was born here. It was easy to say you weren't born here because the red tape, the bureaucracy was a mess, completely disorganized. And anyone could say I was born here because there was no check. There were not papers in that time.
Well,
no?
Yeah, but what the people were doing though is saying that he was born in Kenya because his father is Kenyan, and it was of course a racist kind of conspiracy.
They exploited this loophole in the Hawaii system because in that period everyone went there and said I was born here. There was no checking. No.
Yeah, but he had the documents to prove it. Anyway. So how to become a candidate? I think this is interesting because this goes beyond, just what you need. And notice they show a woman. So this could be you, Suzanne, except you're not natural born, but
yeah.
So get plenty of education because 31 presidents were military. You don't have to have an education, but most presidents have had advanced degrees. So not just your bachelor's degree, but also an advanced, like a master's degree, a PhD. Many of them went to Harvard Law School or other, did business schools before doing politics. Okay. And they say take history, sociology, law, economics, and international relations. 30. This is about the military thing. It's not common now, but it could help you. It could give you some points. Then you have to choose your affiliation, of course. You could be an independent, but most of the time people choose to be one of the two main parties, okay? The smaller party, Libertarian, Green Party, but the two main ones. Then seek out a politically related career. Okay, so you want to get in politics, go become a governor. Or it says here, start small. You could just be a community organizer. You could be an activist, or you could work in politics. So you can do things as a volunteer, which is always a good thing, or you could do it by getting elected, becoming an elected official. Of course, volunteers are very appreciated in America because it shows something about your character that you're willing to work without getting paid. So if you're still at the university, for example, look for internships to get your foot in the door, so this is how you can go for it. Then if you want to become a candidate for president, I love this. There is also a chance that you won't become the president. Yeah. So you should come to terms with that. I love that, as if, you go, like, most people will not become the president, right? Do a little soul searching to see exactly why you'd like to become the president, whether you can handle the pressure and the hardships it may come with. So I love that, thinking about, maybe you won't become president. Then we have talk to your family and friends, because of course, if you become president, you also have to be aware that your family is going to be under scrutiny. You're going to have security. It's going to be change their lifestyles. We saw with Obama's children, being constantly critiqued, etc. But somehow the Bidens, who were the second family at the time, so they were the vice president and second lady, and the Obamas with, Obama or Barack and Michelle, their children all played together, like on a baseball team, or no, on a basketball team, I think it was. And Barack Obama was the coach while he was president. So
That's nice.
isn't that crazy? Yeah. So the kids played on the same team. Can you imagine if you were the visiting team and you had to play against the president's children, the vice presidents, and Barack Obama was actually the coach. So just so you can imagine. Then we have talk to your political party about running. So of course you need to also be chosen by your political party. So it's not just enough for you to want to be president. Your party needs to choose you as well. Then when you go over, so you're going to start raising money, of course, because it's expensive to do this stuff. When you spend more than 5,000 euros, not euros, dollars, excuse me, you're required to register, okay, register your campaign and with the Federal Elections Commission, I think it's called, the FEC, and you're supposed to choose a campaign manager, so someone who's going to be able to do that paperwork for you. Because you're going to be doing the fundraising, rallies, you have to pay for all these things. So you need a campaign manager. You hear a lot about the campaign managers in these campaigns. You're going to raise money from donors. We talked about how Donald Trump raised a lot of small amounts. So other presidents get big money from the big companies and things, but there are a lot of laws about how campaigns can be funded. There's a maximum you can donate. There's always some kind of people get around it somehow, right, Lanfranco?
Yeah,
You look like you're nodding.
This is about the big weakness of the American system. Too many big donors.
Too many big donors, right? So there's a lot of influence.
This stuff ruins everything.
Right. And then there's also things called super PACs. You know, super PACs are these giant, usually big companies that are donating money, usually because they're going to want something in return, right? So then you're going to, it says form an exploratory committee that's going to kind of do some polling and call around, see if you'd be someone that people are interested in. That makes sense, right? Gather a group of political professionals to figure out your chances of winning. Very small, probably. The Federal Election Commission, okay, not committee, but commission, that's where you need to register when you start spending over $5,000, okay? And of course, their job is to just make sure that everything stays clean with the money, but I think that's a pretty difficult thing to do. Then you're going to declare your candidacy, have maybe a rally or something, where you're going to tell people I'm running, get it on television. And then there's the next part, was just getting elected. Okay. Are we still showing? I think it's a woman. Wouldn't that be great? I love this. Appeal to average Americans. So you don't want to just be talking to one part. You want just, regular people. There are some people who are good at that and some people who are not very good at that. Trump is very good at that. Barack Obama was actually very good at it, and so was Bill Clinton. These are the ones that I remember, of course. Lanfranco can probably remember someone else who was good at, probably all the presidents who win are probably good at this.
I say always the same name. Ronald Reagan
was very good at this.
Great communicator.
Great communicator, and people still look at him as a great president, right? Because he was kind of a simple communicator. People recognized him, and he seemed like a nice guy, right? And what else did you like about him?
I could add something.
Please.
Because I worked in America in a high school for a month, And in that high school, in the 80s, there was a big rally with Reagan,
Okay.
And my American colleagues spoke with Reagan because the headquarters here of Reagan was in the school, And they said that Reagan was the best of Reagan was he was really gentle.
It was really
gentle. Really
he was a nice guy. Yeah, a gentleman.
Really a gentleman, like in the old times. It was really his plus.
And also his wife was pretty well liked too. Nancy was someone who people liked a lot too. His wife, they were a good couple. And in fact, they were married until, she just died, didn't she? But yeah, she was very well liked as well. Some people were not. Al Gore had zero empathy with he was President Clinton's vice president, and he just couldn't make, because he just was too cold. People couldn't relate to him. Then you have to start winning elections. You have to win primary elections, caucuses, delegates, because different states have different ways of deciding who their person is going to be. So you have to kind of study which state it is and what you have to do. So it says every state is a bit different, and the party themselves are different as well. Republicans have pledged and unpledged delegates. Democrats have pledged delegates and super delegates. Some are a winner-take-all system, while others give you a percentage of delegates to match the percentage of votes you receive. So it's kind of a complicated process. You have to decide or look at the different states and what they're looking for. Of course, you're going to go to your party's convention. And then eventually they have to choose someone. Hopefully that will be you. Then you're going to run in the general election. And then getting to the White House is the last part. So, okay, so once you win, so first you have to be, you have to go to your convention, you have to be appointed by your convention. Then when you actually get to the White House, it helps if you stick to your views and your promises. If you make a promise, try to keep it. Oh, there are going to be presidential debates. You want to try to do well in those. Although even these rules are changing. Did we lose Lanfranco? Is he still here?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Disappeared.
no.
Missing.
He disappeared. He might be having some issues. We'll see if he comes up again. Oops. What did I do? Oh, I clicked on something apparently. Okay, let me do this quick. Then what does it say? Oh, there's presidential debates. What I was saying is that in the past, the presidential debates were very, very important. But more recently, Trump, for example, who is not very good at debates because he wins them only just because he screams at people and doesn't let them speak. But he decided not to attend the last two, and he's still the leading contender. So with Trump, somehow all the rules are different.
I remember there was the thing with the vice president, the candidate
Kamala?
for the white president,
Okay.
and there was like this what was that? Like that mosquito. I don't remember. It was on all.
Oh, like
all
in the
news.
hair? It was.
Yeah.
It was.
What
Oh
was
God!
that?
Mike Pence had a fly in his hair.
Yeah.
It was because he has this very like white hair,
Yeah.
like that's like sprayed like crazy, and there was like a mosquito on it. We'll have to find a picture of that. Not a mosquito, it was a fly.
Yeah.
And all the pictures were of that. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's so funny. He didn't even flinch. It was there forever.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So then to win the presidential election, though, it's not enough to win the popular vote, because then that's all the votes in your favor, but you also need to win the electoral college, which we'll talk about more in another session. But you need 270 votes to be able to get up. Here comes Lanfranco. Let's give him a second to get in. He's coming. Connecting to audio.
Try not to bite anyone else.
He's coming. Okay, he's back. Hi, Lanfranco.
System crashed.
Oh, it happens. But you already won. That's the important thing. This stuff, we're just talking about the different things. So how to win, talking about electoral votes. Then, of course, you get sworn in. You get inaugurated. That's the word, on the January 20th. Okay. And then you win in November. You go to the White House in January. So that is how you become president. Now we know what to do. We can try it, right?
Yeah.
Looking at the different, what is that one? I want to see everybody here. Ah, that's better. I can see you in a triangle now. So what do you think of who's your favorite president? I remember Eisenhower was Johnny's, and we didn't put it in the thing. I guess that Lanfranco's favorite president is Reagan.
No,
Who's
I
your
like
favorite
Reagan,
president?
but I have another name to say, because I am a little bit maverick, no? I
Okay.
say Calvin Coolidge.
Coolidge. Okay, now tell me about Coolidge and why.
But because Coolidge was the president in the Roaring '20s, in the Jets era, in the Gershwin era, no? It was nice, no?
Okay.
There was the Great Gatsby,
Yeah. Okay. So you
great,
just like that period of time.
yes, and great economical develop, extremely
Sure.
big. The first time that in a nation there was a big middle class, no, in the '20s, no.
Uh-huh.
And he was a president extremely detached, because he
Okay.
said that the nation has to work alone. I don't have to interfere.
Ah, so he was a hands-off
Yes,
kind of president, a laissez-faire president.
That is.
Interesting. What about Bruna? Bruna, do you have a president that you find interesting?
Oh, I have to say I am very ignorant. I don't know the story of the president.
That's
What
okay.
I can say is that I don't like Trump. This is the only thing I can say, because yes, Obama at the time was for us yes, a person we can trust but I'm not completely sure that he was definitely a good president. I cannot say that. Because I don't know enough to. But Trump, Trump, I don't
You know
like.
what you don't like.
I'm sure of that.
Okay. What about Suzanne?
Well, I liked Obama very much. Yeah. Especially like I was very young, but I remember after Bush, that he was some kind of positive and person that we could like think that things could be better again after the crisis in 2008. Yeah, so like I loved seeing him, the first Black president, and he wanted to do something about the medical care system in the US. So we really try to go to that way. I love Michelle Obama. I'm a huge fan of Michelle Obama.
I love Michelle Obama too. Yeah.
So yeah, and even now when he's interviewed and he says things about, I don't know, his views on his personal life, on politics, I always think that his words and his thoughts are so deep and interesting to hear. So yeah, and I would like to see some democratic leaders like him, so charismatic, like more.
You'd like to see more of that.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah,
yeah,
because I think recently, unfortunately, in my point of view, there are more Republicans or far right, people that are so charismatic right now. So I would like to see.
So you're thinking we need to get the charisma going on the other side as
Yeah,
well. Interesting today. No, last week we spoke about the Supreme. Was it last week? Supreme Court cases.
Yeah.
Okay. Or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, we saw each other, and we talked about the court case called Roe versus Wade. Did you remember what that one was about?
Yeah.
Well, that was about abortion rights,
Yeah.
right? That was overturned.
Yeah.
Okay, it was called Dodds, and I don't remember anymore now because I've forgotten everything. But what was interesting is today in the newspaper, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the Washington Post or the New York Times, or any of the other ones that you may be reading. How many Democratic candidates won because of the states taking up laws to protect abortion rights. So conservative states, Ohio, for example, was one that added an amendment to their constitution protecting abortion rights. So very interesting how the Republicans for the last many, many years, that was their main issue. They were really trying to overturn Roe versus Wade, probably thinking that everybody agreed with them, but actually many Republicans did not agree, and they're voting Democratic because of their disagreement with that particular part of the platform. So that's sort of an interesting thing. So when you look at the newspapers today, you'll see that there are several articles about this, about different states having decisions that went towards Democrats almost entirely based on that situation. So, and I think, and the other thing that keeps coming up is the culture wars, right? Talking about,
can I add something about?
Sure. I don't know if I have the answer, but we can talk about it.
Something different. In my opinion, to overturn Roe versus Wade
Roe versus Wade,
was a right thing to do. And this is not about abortion. It's not about abortion.
Tell me.
About the system. Because the rule have the states on the parliament have to do the rules. With Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court, 9 people did a rule for all the nation directly. It is not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is like now. Every state has to choose which kind of law it wants. Because
that's what the Republicans argued.
It is not an issue of Republican or an issue of abortion. The Supreme Court 30 years ago with Roe versus Wade did something wrong because they said in every nation, in all the nation, the abortion is legal. This is not the stuff of the Supreme Court. This is not stuff of the Supreme Court. The Parliament have to rule about the laws and to write laws. No? Now, this is the correct situation. Every nation, every state can choose which kind of law has want about abortion. And
Congress, not Parliament. Don't say Parliament to an American; they'll go crazy.
Or Parliament of the states, because in the 10th article of the Bill of Rights, there is written that all the power is to the states and to the citizen. All the remaining power is
all the things that are not covered by the Constitution. Clarifying.
Abortion is not covered. It is
not anymore.
It is you can say, but it is overstretching.
Well, that's what many people said, and that's why it got overturned. Now, what was surprising also is that that it wasn't based on precedent. So I think that's what was surprising for people, is that with the overturning of Roe versus Wade, you're taking away a right rather than giving it. So it was surprising. Still, continues to have reverberations, right?
Yes, but not taking away the right to write rules is in the parliament. It's in the states, in the citizens. Not that it is not a power of the justice. This is the issue. It is not abortion. It is not an abortion issue. It is an issue who writes the rules. The parliament, the states, the citizens, not the justice. This is the issue. And in fact, I understood when all the Republicans were happy, not because was overturned the rule, but I knew that, of course, in the states, the Democrat had won, because it is impossible to go back with the rules of abortion 30 years ago. It is impossible. But anyway, it was right to do this overturn of Roe versus Wade. Sorry, was I clear? Was I clear?
Yes, you were clear. You were clear. Right. And there are many people who agree with you. And then there are a lot of people who don't agree with you.
Yes.
But
For
at any
example,
rate, but now what we're seeing is, you're right, is now we're seeing that the states are having to, because what happens is when it was overturned, the laws went back to the way they were before that decision. So you have many states with these very conservative
they have to
laws that they
decide.
had to quick fix or keep them. So
But
some states were making them more stringent. Others are becoming more liberal.
You know that they are. You understood that I am a Trump supporter. You understood it, no?
Right, right.
Yes, but in Ohio yesterday, I would have voted for the constitutional amendment to keep the abortion right. But it's another stuff. It's another stuff.
Right. And anyway, I think what's good is we should be able to have these conversations, don't you think? I think it's good because over the last few years, we've lost the ability to even have different ideas. So I'm grateful to have a moment to have different opinions. So I appreciate you, Lanfranco. I appreciate you, Bruno. I appreciate you, Suzanne. And I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week, okay?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Later.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.